Sucks.
course.
Nothing on Flash.
Yep. And that pretty much
Okay,
covers the
what's
Flash.
next?
We're about to lose track. So, wasn't there something that was very exciting? Something that broke the internet?
Oh, I don't.
Oh yeah,
think
there's a
so.
CNN commercial. Let's talk about that. First of all, CNN.
No,
they gotta
no.
get their marketing done. But no, I'm just kidding. We got one last thing regarding the DC fandom stuff to talk about, and that is the Snyder Cut.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Gotta say,
where do we begin with
Balls.
this? All right, at last we finally got into Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's so good, guys. Oh man.
Yes.
Definitely.
It's been such a long ride. And it's been exhausting ever since it came out and I finished it because I'm just drained emotionally in all ways.
Yeah, same. I mean, I started to cry since the first minute. I mean, it was something else. I mean, it was the best part of the year. I mean, was
Oh
special.
yeah. The best part of the last fucking 5 years. Let's
Yeah.
put it in another way.
Believe me, man, it's like you go from Batman v Superman to another film, like where else would you go other than Zack Snyder's Justice League? Like this is the perfect way to go.
Perfect. Yeah. It's where it was building up to. So it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Alright.
And just like being able to see another person and knowing the story behind it and finally sealing it all into this one perfect movie for the genre is just so lyrical, poetic. That's Snyder mostly. He makes movies that are mythological, poetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
Just so right.
Believe
yeah,
me,
that's
like
the
that's
magic
just
of this
perfect.
movie.
And for those that are confused by this cold opening, welcome to episode 14 of the JustUs Podcast. I'm Quantum Surge. I'm joined here with Tops and Fred, and like some of us are trying to keep quiet around here because, sleep, and everyone else is sleeping. But I just want to get this out of the way because, like, there's just so much to talk about with Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's just very, very good.
Gonna be like a chill talk. You can
Yeah.
listen to it while you're doing tasks or trying to sleep.
Think of this
Yeah.
as an ASMR type video. The
Yeah.
JustUs Podcast tells you about why Justice League is great under Zack Snyder's vision. JustUs Podcast. Like, where do we begin? Let's first talk about the road to it, because as we all know, Justice was terrible. It was a huge compromise, and the fact that it took us so long to wait for the proper version just felt like we'd never win. But thankfully, there's been ways for us to fight for it beyond just tweeting about it, because everyone on social media that fought for the Snyder Cut did stuff like spreading awareness of suicide prevention, making sure that people donate to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, telling Warner Brothers to release the Snyder Cut, whether it's putting up signs or putting an airplane over it, making SnyderCon, and just making them seem like a positive group. And despite the fact that they got laughed at by smug fucks, they won. They got the cut back in May 2020 as an announcement, and since then, things have changed.
Yeah, and I think we've all done our paths in the way. I know I've gone through a lot of struggles personally and in the fan base. So it's just all so cathartic. It's more than just a movie. We're all aware of that. The thing
Yeah.
is that even analyzing as a movie itself, you find so many fantastic attributes, and I just can't wait to talk in depth about them. But just everything coming to this big conclusion, especially with you guys, it's great, just great.
Yeah, I mean, I can even describe, this feeling. This is true, man. I can. It's not because you know, I don't know, man. I just feel happy. I just feel happy for it,
You
and
feel complete.
just yeah, that's true. You feel complete. It's like just to think about, see this since 2017 it was something hard, because there's all the world was against you. It's like, no, it doesn't exist. No, you're never gonna see it. It's like, you
Yeah,
know, that
Oh
hope,
man, yeah.
that hope is, to see this one day, because we don't even know when we're going to see this. It's like they said, no, I mean, probably 10 years, or maybe more. I mean, that was, you know as I said, just to think, or just to, stay in front your TV, tablet, or cell phone, about to watch this movie is an incredible film. I mean, for me, it was something real special that, as I said, I can explain. It was something awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the best way to break it down is by talking about everything. Let's start with the story first. Man, the fact that we begin with seeing Superman's death from BVS, but this time from him screaming in pain, and his yells affecting the mother boxes is just like a surprise because like I knew they were going to sort of do what they did with BVS and have it in a setting similar to Man of Steel's finale, but the way they
Yeah.
did it here is
yeah,
just pretty much like a surprise after us expecting there to be some sort of weird cold opening, but that is much more distinct, more flavorable, more tasteful than the stupid shit that we got from Justice. That terrible CGI face, that cell phone, that kid asking if he ever fought Moto Moto.
Yeah, I mean, and even, it clarifies many things that people couldn't understand on the 2017 movie. I mean, why? I mean, Lex Luthor said, something about a sound. What are he? What is he talking about? It's like the ring on ring. It's like people don't understand that, and here is when, oh, that is scream for Superman awakes the mother boxes. Now I understand why he said that to Bruce on the jail. You know, I mean, it starts in a good way. I mean, to
Yeah,
clarify many things about the plot.
we get to
That's
see
good. I
stuff
mean,
like, Batman and Wonder Woman's reactions to the death, the mother
yeah,
boxes being aware, like getting Lex aware of the mother boxes when he was in the mothership with the Steppenwolf hologram projector, as well as the fact
mhm,
that each mother box is getting reawakened in uh, Victor's apartment, the
hmm
Atlantean location, as well as the temple where they guard the mother box, and seeing the
yeah.
Amazonian warriors, especially the one that's approaching it, was just a
That
sign of what's to
uh,
come. Like they have no
yeah.
idea what's coming back for them after so many years, as they mentioned later in the film.
Yeah, but one question I really want to make is like, they were there like since that age. It's like they were waiting for something happens to the mother bugs. That's something that keeps in my mind. It's like,
Yeah, maybe
okay,
they're just guardians of the temple.
yeah, but there's too much of them. It's like, okay, those.
Well, they also said that it's been making noises for the past 5 days or so until
Oh
it
yeah.
cracked. So
Oh well,
maybe that made sense.
yeah, it could be, but well, and even an important point is like you can see Batman eyes. It's like start to turn tears. It's like,
He's carrying with a lot of guilt.
yeah, it's like, what, what, what I've done. It's like what I've done is
Yeah,
something that he cannot erase from his mind. I mean,
Yeah.
totally.
Like we already mentioned the fact that he failed Superman in life but won't fail him in death. And this is a story
mhm.
that does a much, much better job of depicting Batman stepping out from the darkness in a way than what we got with the theatrical cut. Plus, I was
Yeah,
surprised that they immediately show Bruce looking for Arthur Curry instead of him being with the parademons.
yeah. Well, that is seen, but to be honest, for me it was, a bittersweet sense. For me, it's like, oh, I know this because that's what exactly happens at the beginning of the New 52 comics. The first Justice League issue from the New 52 is like a copy paste. It's like, okay, it's good, but then you know I- it doesn't feel very. I can connect with that. To be honest, I don't know on the 2017 movie, but now it's like you can see Bruce going to see this Aquaman, these protectors of the sea, but
Yeah,
all this journey. It's like you can see how far he goes to find this man.
yeah, like he feels more
Mm,
devoted towards it, whereas in
yeah,
Justice, it just felt like he said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about this thing." Almost like they're trying
yeah. I
to
mean,
wash away things of BVS just because of the fans and like not the fans, like the critics being dicks.
yeah, you can see his compromise. It's
But
like,
it's
wow,
so funny because they did Justice League for the reasons exactly to go against everything Batman v Superman kind of tonally did. But then
mm,
Justice League itself feels so fresh, so uh, light, so heartfelt, and also humorous,
hmm,
because,
yeah,
and of course, it carries with a lot of internal problems for each character,
yeah,
and they're
Yeah,
each
like,
one of them has their
like
own development.
with Arthur Curry, like he's pretty much a guardian of his own kind, but like he doesn't really see himself as part of a team. He sees himself as a loner. Even if Bruce
Yeah,
mentioned the fact that, like, he mentioned Superman, but uh, he mentioned that he fought alongside Superman and saw him die.
yeah,
they're all heroes in their own ways. If we just go directly to the characters, they all show heroic actions in the beginning of their scenes, and you can also see how complicated and how out they feel of the world, their environment. But
hmm,
that's well the whole, let's say, purpose of the movie. Just maybe through uh, uniting all of us, we can find our own purpose and embrace our past and embrace our flaws, embrace also our talents. And I could really spot that with Cyborg, with Flash, with Aquaman,
yeah,
which
yeah,
were basically the newbies,
Oh yeah,
and also Batman forgiving himself, Wonder Woman finally moving on. It's just all a ride, a huge ride.
definitely, yeah. I mean, and I don't. Well, to be honest, I don't really want to talk too much about compare too much about the 2017 movie to this. But fuck, man, I I I, I feel I feel that you know it's like I cannot describe how angry I am about what they did to Cyborg. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
now that you
definitely.
Ray
mention,
Fisher
now that you
had all
mention
the
it,
right to be pissed off.
Yeah.
man, it's like now. Well, I mean, I was not too much engaged in all this. Just Ray
Behind the scenes
Fisher,
drama.
the yeah, Ray Fisher drama, and but now I can understand why he's so mad about this. It's like, wow, if they did that to me, and even if it's the first time I'm appear in a movie, man, it's like I can't believe it. I can't believe they could do that for him.
You know what the funny thing is the fact that like Ray Fisher is a black man. Warner Brothers been desperate for trying to make themselves stand against racism and bigotry, but
Hmm.
they're pretty much pathetic at trying to listen to Ray Fisher. And of course, as we all found out, they talked about stuff like cutting out the non-white actors from the film and basically going from firing Ray Fisher, not making a cyborg movie, to then suddenly saying, "Oh no, guys, we're against racism. We're
Yeah.
like we're supporting black actors. Here's a black Superman movie." Does that sound right to you?
Not at
Fuck,
all.
man. Yeah, but that I think that's another subject for another video. I mean, we're here to talk about the Justice League, the
Yeah,
real Justice League. I mean, we don't need to waste time, talking about that shit. I
Wait,
mean,
can I just say one thing?
yeah, you can, of course.
go on.
I was watching it with friends, and
Mhm.
by the minute it passed, I I couldn't just hold myself and say Joss Whedon is a fucking retard.
Oh,
And he looks
definitely.
even more he looks even more like a retard by every minute that passes in this fucking movie. He's just a complete hack, a complete dumbass, and an asshole apparently,
And most
because we
importantly,
all
he's a
know.
fraud. He's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if we make a video about it because we can, we can talk, talk with all freedom about this shit,
Oh,
and
definitely.
have different point of view that I would really like to share with you. It's not just
Oh,
to
yeah.
throw shit to just with them. It's like I have many opinions that I read. It's like, okay, I can pass this. It's like, you know, we can debate this, but for another video.
Yeah, definitely. Once we have
Will be
more
Yeah.
very
people.
interesting.
But like,
Yeah, will
let's
be
move
interesting.
on. So, what happens next?
Well,
So
now that we take the cyborg part, it's like, man, I really love his interpretation. I already finished to watch it with my parents, and well, man, my mom loves cyborg. It's like, wow,
oh yeah.
what a
I-
great character. It's like, and even though he is like, is my mom, yeah, and he
yeah.
understand, like she understand that that determination what his mom tried to defend him into that room with this principal,
Oh,
yeah.
that scene was so heartwarming, man.
Definitely,
Bro,
So
it's
man.
like,
Victor Stone.
bro,
Yeah.
it's like, man, my mom will do that if that happens to me. It's like he will defend me, with
Yeah.
all his last breath, it was incredible,
He's
all the
definitely like the
cyber
heart of the
part.
film. And
He is.
He was a fucking hard. Zack was right all along. And
like
Yeah.
they made
in terms of
important.
narrative, he's the best character. Even though, well, spoiler alert for me, Flash is my favorite after 3 watches. I
Yeah, no
still think
problem with
that
that.
narratively,
Definitely,
Victor
definitely.
Stone is the better character.
But like for me, I can definitely see Cyborg as the perfect equivalent to a black Superman. because
Mm.
he's the kind of person that can change the world with his gifts.
Yeah.
And like he's lost people of his own, his relatives, and as we saw him, like he can pretty much use his power to do whatever he wants, but more importantly, he needs to use it as an inspiration, not to feel
Hmm.
ashamed of who he is, because in a way, him feeling like a freak is sort of equivalent to young Clark not knowing where he is or where he came from. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, what about if we talk about Aquaman or Arthur Curry?
Arthur Curry.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's not a carrot this time. Like he feels like a genuine character. He's a loner.
Yeah,
He doesn't feel like the cliche type of loner. Like he's someone that doesn't
yeah,
like to be part of his own kind because he sees himself as
yeah,
more of like a like his own rules, played by his own rules guy. He's more, you know, like he doesn't want to be Atlantean. He just sees himself as like a person that's grown used to living with humans and just so happens to have these powers, but doesn't use them for good unless it's for keeping people out of the way. But he doesn't really see himself as a real superhero, nor is he ready to be in the Atlantean kingdom. And
Mhm.
it's at this moment when the invasion with Steppenwolf happened, I've convinced him even further. And initially thinking that, Bruce's pleas were just pointless at first to him until later on he makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And you have those tiny details, like you can see he's passionate and he respects the ocean as part of
Hmm.
himself, but he just doesn't want to embrace his past from there. Also,
Yeah,
you can tell that the narrative changed a little bit because here he's like a bit mad about his mom. Could that be? Did I interpret that correctly, or maybe
Yeah,
I'm
for
wrong?
abandoning him.
Yeah, which in
yeah.
Aquaman is not exactly like that,
Mm,
but still it pays off because it is in its core the same character, and then you see him in Aquaman just you know like go into his roots and
mhm.
just accepting it.
Yeah, and
So
like
here is like seeing one of those steps. This
yeah.
movie is just a tiny step for Arthur, but it's essential and it makes a lot of sense, and it just writes the direction.
Plus, like, regardless of whether or not you like Aquaman, at least that film feels more like a genuine movie compared to some of the other stuff we got since then.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think we jumped
Yeah,
the
Just
shark
like
and well,
because Wonder Woman, like, first seeing Wonder Woman save the field trip children during the art museum is just great. It
yeah.
was already fine enough
Oh,
in Justice, but just feels more complete with the proper music and the color grading too. But more importantly,
mm.
seeing the fight with Steppenwolf and the Amazonians just felt a little more threatening this time around.
yeah,
Oh,
well, I just want to finish talking about Arthur. It's like, I, this character, I really like. The way he goes is like someone who don't want to engage too much with them.
mhm.
With a team, and then he saved them into that in the Gotham Harbor. But
Yeah.
one scene that you know it gives me this genuine character was with Barry talking about Victor. When
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, wow, it's like you can see his worries about the others, but he don't want to show it, too much. It's not like, no, I don't want to show my feelings. No, it's like it's someone that they take care about the others, but it's not something too much cheesy or too much like forced. It's
Hmm.
it feels natural. It's like, wow, this man is like we
yeah. It's
we
a lot more
it's like,
organic. It's less
yeah,
cliche. It's more organic, and
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
mean,
feel awkward
we
like with
are
the other
letting this
version.
man. And let's talk about a little bit of, that is seen on, well, this kind of stronghold of the in Atlantis. Well, I don't know if it's Atlantis or Sebel. I don't remember the name of this
Hmm.
place that Mera is from, because Mera is from Sebel. Sebel. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
I don't
that's the name.
recall either. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, because Mera is there, and in the other movies like a princess, but here is like a general, something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
are those parts that that things that are some incongruences that can
Hmm.
fix, it's not something important. But one thing that I don't really like too much is that they can talk into the waters. Like they need those bubbles, and they make that that sounds like a dolphin or something like
yeah.
that.
Though I
I
think the
mean,
bubbles make sense for like affecting. Uh, I think it was when they were fighting against Steppenwolf and they pretty much messed up the gravity in a way. I made it like regular gravity, so he pretty much falls on his back.
Hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's one purpose. So it's kind of like there's things I like about it, and there's things I don't, but that's sort of minor.
it is
yeah. I
minor.
mean, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not something that would change, all the plot. It's a little detail that maybe they don't have in too much to do with, because in the movie of Aquaman, I mean, they're not gonna have these bubbles in all the parts of the city. I
I
mean,
like to lie to myself and say that they're just doing the voiceover over that language they have underwater, so it's
yeah, I
not
mean,
annoying
yeah,
during the movie. I lied to myself saying
yeah. I
that.
mean,
But
it's interesting. Of course, it's interesting. And it's something
Yeah.
that, but why they can talk into the water? I mean, but well, it's a little detail. It's nothing to get mad.
Oh yeah, I
maybe
also
just
forgot to
James Wan
mention
didn't want to limit
Volko.
himself. Sorry.
I forgot
What?
to mention one other thing. That being Volko, he's back in this
Oh,
movie, and he
Oh
was already a
yeah.
great thing about Aquaman, but seeing him in this film again is just feels more like something we've been missing. It's almost like when you find your favorite
Mhm.
stylist for your video game console, and you find him, and turns out it's Volko, and he completes the set very nicely. I still find it strange that he
yeah.
was cut out previously, but I'm glad he's here again. I love Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe, and hearing him raise his voice sometimes makes me think of the Green Goblin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
He's something of
it's
Atlantean himself.
yeah.
It's
I
very
mean, both. Both in English and in Spanish. They use the same actor voice from Spider-Man. I mean,
they
it feels
do.
that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Now that's
yeah. I
going back to
mean,
formula right there. You and I are not
but
so different.
I really like the interaction with Arthur, because it's like, man, we really need you. We need you to take down your brother. It's like, or in a way, it's like, we want to tell you something. I mean, that is going to happen or something like that. I mean, it feels like they have a plan for him, for Arthur.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
like
Um,
definitely.
saying, just own up, just allow yourself to get that purpose. Come on, just get the trident and go
yeah,
and do
take
what
your
your
mother
mother would do.
trident.
Yeah,
I really like that
exactly.
line. It's
Which is not
time.
a trident. It is not a trident,
No, 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 it's
but
not.
No, it's a
we will get
Quinlet.
into that discussion another time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because moving forward, we get more of the League members forming. Bruce meets Flash, which is always something I liked. And
Oh, let's talk
this
about
time,
Flash.
we get stuff like the return of Rick and Morty instead of that stupid K-pop stuff. But we'll see before then. Seeing Barry trying to get a job.
Oh, the
And-
K-pop shit. And the brunch. Where is my brunch joke?
His brunch joke is
Fucking
in
good.
Jeff Johns' cum sock. Warning, it smells like shit. Like,
I don't
going
want to
back a
picture
bit.
that.
Going back a bit, I liked seeing Barry struggling to find a job. I mean, we get to see it this time. He wants to be with the dogs, and being with the doggos is very wholesome. I mean, I love dogs. I own a dog. I love my dog so much.
I mean, that introduction of him was glorious. I mean, this guy who his resume, this is like he's funny, but not that dumb way of being funny. It's like he's funny, but in
Yeah, but he's
natural ways.
He's like trying to
Yeah,
hide like
it's
some of
good.
the pain he has on the inside from his struggles of having a normal life.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
charismatic. Yeah,
He's just awkward too, and I think I've heard some people say that he may have or be in the spectrum of autism, but in a very superficial way.
Yeah,
So
like
it's not
if that's
that
the
bad.
case, like this is a very good way of making a character autistic without making it a gimmick. Because
yeah.
people with
Yeah,
disabilities
It's
should
actually
be more than
awesome.
just a gimmick. Like you look at something like Predator, the 2018 version, and they use autism as like a weapon. Like that, it just seems pretty stupid. Here, they
Yeah.
made autism feel less like a gimmick and more like he's a character that so happens to be autistic, which is fine by me.
Yeah, even I think you can tell through the behaviors of Barry that he also trained himself to find peace and find
Yeah.
balance. That's why he's also the perfect choice to manipulate the Speed Force. He's just so complete as a character to be in the position of being the Flash. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. And all he needs to
I
do
mean,
is
you can
just
find-
change his future in a good way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you can find it, in that scene, his last scene as as well. I don't know if I could call him the Flash because we know how he gets that name. It's like, it's well, I don't know if that's canon. How he get the Flash name. Because
Was it from the CW? I forgot it was from the
Yeah.
CW.
yeah, was there. I mean, it's just a little detail that I want to mention about the
Man,
scene.
I don't really give much of a shit about the CW stuff, anyways. But we can just call him Flash. Like all that matters is that he's got a future that he needs to change himself. That's something
Yeah,
that
I mean,
he learned from his
Yeah, you-
father, and that's something that he learned later on. But overall, I hope for the best for Barry Allen. Like, bless his heart, he's very well intentioned, very inspiring, and he loves dogs
Yeah.
too. And he even gave a little sausage to the little doggo.
He's a dog lover. Perfect
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I wanted to say hi to my dog too one day, and everyone else's dogs too.
Sup, Lucas? Oh, also, did you guys notice that that hot dog? How do you call it? Hot dog
Like that.
cart
Yeah,
had written on it like "Granny Goodness hot dogs." Did you guys catch that?
Oh, really?
tiny
Yeah,
Easter
it
egg?
did.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
No.
apparently, Granny
Get it.
Goodness is already manipulating Earth in some ways, which is
I
like
get
in
it.
the comics.
So is that why people get butt
Interesting.
cancer from eating too many hot dogs?
Yeah,
Wow,
that's the whole explanation.
what a bitch.
Yeah, fucking bitch.
But we'll say, like, one weird thing is that the way the CGI looked when Barry Allen was trying to save Iris West looked a wee bit weird. Maybe it'll look a little bit
Oh,
better
really?
in the Justice is Great, but like, it's not super noticeable. It's just like the more you see it, the more weird it gets, but not distractingly so. Like the main point is, okay, you gotta save the girl you love and get the little
Yeah,
sausage
I've
for the
heard-
dog.
I've heard other people have problems with that scene too. Personally, it's one of my favorite, but I also heard people getting weird feelings or thinking of perverted things when he was grabbing the sausage while also
Oh,
like being close to Iris. So I don't
well,
know. I mean,
that's not something that it's something wrong about you. I mean, you're the one
yeah,
who does
Yeah.
things. I mean,
you're the fucking one who's thinking things wrongly.
yeah. I mean, I never thought about it. I mean, it was like, really?
To me,
No.
better for something weird like that to happen than for him to put his face on Wonder Woman's chest, because
Oh, yeah.
that was totally funny in Age of Ultron, wasn't it? Fuck no.
Fuck no. But I don't get why people are complaining about that tiny thing, and they never complain about the Flash falling in Wonder Woman's boobs. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Check your priorities
I would
and
really like
most
to tell
importantly,
one
get a
of those.
life.
and get a life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well,
Wow.
that scene was, well, in my case, I really love it. I mean, it was funny. Well, it was a little bit, you know, I don't know, maybe we would prefer that Iris was, a client, and then she goes, they see each other, and, you know, more interaction about them because,
Oh, like have a conversation inside of the pet
yeah,
shop.
something like that.
Yeah, we can go
Yeah,
for something like that, but like maybe that'll be expanded on later
yeah,
on.
because
Hopefully in
yeah,
Yeah, but
because
jail
they
too.
had a huge eye fucking scene.
but it would be more powerful if if they interact and then it's like, oh, I see you next time, something like that. It's like, oh, okay, they're going to see more of them
Maybe,
Yeah,
later.
maybe.
maybe it's just Barry
But I
not being
just
prepared for it yet.
also, yeah, I just liked the way it felt like it was love at first sight, even though
Yeah, something
it's
like that. Yeah,
a
I
bit
also think that.
ideal.
Yeah,
It's still nice.
but really, eye
But
fucking? That's just maybe I'm not used with the times. Maybe I'm just old and
but
Come
cynical.
on, man. Barry and Iris were eye fucking the same way Bruce and Diana were eye
man,
fucking the whole movie. Even when Batman was with the goggles on, and, and he
well,
looked at her from
well,
that clear.
just to finish about talking the Flash, I just wanted to say, please fucking focus when you are driving. Please continue.
All right.
Wait, what? What did you say, Fred? Sorry.
Focus when you are driving, please.
Oh
Focus
yeah,
on the fucking street.
and also tell that to Cyborg's mom.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
but it happens.
You know, like
I
the
mean,
guy with the
yeah,
burger. That guy could like pause. Like he could like hit the brakes a bit and get his burger.
yeah, but well, I just want to say that those kind of things are more normal than we think. It's like there are a lot of people who are talking with the phone and talking with the people from the back. Hey guys,
Eating
while
burgers.
driving, yeah, while driving is like okay, and when if I'm with someone who do that, it's like, man, please focus on the fucking
Bro.
road, please, please. I mean, I don't want to die
Yeah.
here. I mean,
Yeah.
not
Don't drink
here.
and
Well, I
drive.
mean,
Smoke and fly.
please. But
Moving
well,
on. Can we talk
what
about
about
Lois Lane?
what
Oh
about
yeah.
Lois.
yeah,
I love Lois's character in the prior films, and I love her in this film as well because she's someone that's very independent. We've seen that with Man of Steel. She's willing to go up against the guys, like throw
yeah,
subtle shades at them, like talk about measuring dicks. Like she's not afraid. She's able to be a part of the, in the war against the Kryptonians that were trying to terraform Earth. We've seen her trying to investigate the metal bullet that was used in Africa when she was
Yeah.
like held hostage. And
hmm
while it is sad to see her feel like broken and lonely, she still feels like
yeah,
how she would be. It's just that she's sadly
hmm
suffering from the loss of someone she cared about immensely.
Yeah, those just tiny moments of stillness and quiet. It was just perfect to show how
Yeah.
the void inside of Lois after
Yeah. I mean,
And she's like a
here,
go get him
uh,
type of girl. Like she's not someone that just is there to be a damsel in distress. Like she's
no,
brave, and seeing
no,
her,
man. I mean, Lois's role has been super important. He saved Superman, and in this movie, she saves Batman. She saves
yeah,
Batman.
another parallel to Batman v Superman. But
yeah, but I just wanted to say that as you mentioned before, you can see this kind of how to say badass girl, but here you can see the other part of the coin. It's like someone who's broken, and you can get related to that if you lost someone very important in your
She's
life.
much
I
more
mean,
vulnerable. Yeah,
yep,
yeah, and I really appreciate those parts. See that that share or that something who belongs to that person you lost. It's like wow, it's like it's a really strong feeling.
yeah.
and
yeah, we
and
also got to
and
see
to
that too
go,
with Martha Kent.
yeah, I mean, and going into ah, the evil Superman scene. When well, no, I mean when Superman awakes, it's like when she back and see someone into the sky. It's like wow, I just started to cry at that moment. It was like
Yeah, man, it's just like
it was
stuff like
breathless,
this.
breathless.
Like we don't get to see stuff like this in real life. Seeing someone, unless it's like someone that survived uh, from a coma. But like before we jump the gun too soon to get to the end, can we talk about Martian Manhunter's appearance? Like seeing Martha Kent talk with Lois was already inspiring because like they both lost someone that they cared about, and that someone is the same person.
Yeah, I mean that scene was great because oh, you were talking.
Yeah, I was.
No. Oh,
Hey,
I was.
hello.
hello. uh
Hey.
Hi, Fred.
oh,
You hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay. Tell
Yeah.
me again, please. We can start again.
So what I'm trying to say is that like seeing Martha Kent and Lois talk to each other was already something I liked because like they both lost someone that they cared about a lot, and that person is the
Yeah,
same individual, Clark Kent, Superman, someone's son, someone's fiance. Like they both have things
yeah,
in common. They both care
yeah.
about him. They're both devastated, and like they feel lonely without him. And even if it's not the real Martha Kent, it's just Martian Manhunter in disguise, and seeing it as Harry
Mhm.
Lennox, like General Swanwick, just feels more surprising because Swanwick is a very stiff man. Have you seen it in Man of Steel, Batman v Superman? And now he's come back and realized how good Lois is because, like, he now knows that she is important, and as we find
Exactly.
out,
Yeah,
she indeed is.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if a little bit of Martian Manhunter art, or comics or history. Sorry, it's like he lost a lot. He lost his planet. I mean, he's the last one as Kal-El, and he understand that loss. His wife, children. I mean, he's the right person to talk with Lewis about it. I mean,
Yeah,
was was great. I mean, yeah.
It
and
resonates more.
seeing like Swanwick turn out to be and like one of like someone just like Superman hiding among him is just poetic justice in a way. Because at first,
Yeah.
like you don't like this is just an ordinary general of the military. He doesn't seem like someone that would fit in. But going back, it's just like kind of mind blowing to think about it. that
Oh
the
yeah.
same person that is part of the military turns out to have been an alien, but he's not as ready to reveal
Yeah,
himself to the world as Superman is.
yeah. And there's something interesting that he said at the end. While we're gonna take all the Martian Manhunter appearance,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Let's
at
move
the
it
end,
forward.
it's like
Let's move forward. Let's
he
move forward.
says,
Let's move forward. We don't want to go through it just yet. I'm too excited to talk about the rest.
okay. We want to talk about that later.
Yeah, let's talk about
Um,
Steppenwolf trying to impress Desaad and Darkseid.
no. Don't talk about Steppenwolf, please.
Oh
Poor
man.
Steppenwolf, man. He was a real victim of the story.
In Justice,
Bro,
he was just an ordinary villain that felt like a downgrade from General Zod and Lex Luthor, the sadistic, cruel, yet somewhat understandable Zod, and the manipulative, creepy, and overall power hungry Lex Luthor, who wants to make God kneel before him. Like, those two are some of the best villains out there. And then you go to Steppenwolf and Justice, and he's just some guy that makes Thanos feel more complex than him. That's
Yeah.
sad. But then we go to this
My boy
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf deserved better.
Then we go to this
Oh,
Steppenwolf, and he just feels more complete. He's got someone that he needs to talk to beyond the parademons. He wants to impress them. He wants to go back up there, but like he doesn't. Like, he fails to recognize what he's fucked up with.
Yeah.
yeah, and I would really like to say that the Steppenwolf, well, in my opinion, was one of the best parts of the movie because at the end, I want to go that far just a little bit. At the end, it's like when you saw that Diana is going to cut his head off. It's like you can feel a little bit, sad for him. It's like, no, please don't kill him.
Yeah, like, it's weird too because like appearance wise,
he's
he's very cool. Like, he's very metallic. He has like living metal around him. Almost reminds me of Megatron. But his
Oh
face
yeah.
is like, whereas Megatron's face
man.
shows no emotion. Like, Megatron's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
monster. He's got no heart. He has no soul. That's why he has no fear. You look at Steppenwolf, and he has a less intimidating face than Desaad and Darkseid. Yet
When
he has this
he's a
deep
dark
voice.
side, man. Yeah.
And he's he's the strong one. Yet he has to kneel before Desaad, who looks weaker than him.
Mhm.
And of course, you see Darkseid show up, and it just changes everything, because if you thought Desaad was a creepy one, then take a look at when Steppenwolf listens to Darkseid. Like, Darkseid is the real scene stealer in Chernobyl.
Oh,
Like, oh
the
my
first
god.
appearance of Darkseid, man, with all that black texture, it's just so intimidating.
Wait, he showed up
Right
before
before
in the flashback.
Yeah, he first had the flashback, but he didn't
Yeah,
talk
but
before it.
Yeah, like, it's kind of amusing to see him go from almost being like a Hulk of sorts. He roars, he's like aggressive, he's primal, he's savage,
Mm-hmm.
but he still seems fairly intelligent. Then you go to when we see him in the present day as Darkseid, whereas in the past he was Uxas. Now as Darkseid, like, seeing him in the hologram or the projector, the metal projector just feels different. He's much more intimidating. He shows no emotion compared to Steppenwolf. And he has
yeah.
mentions of stuff like turning 100,000 worlds to dust and waiting for his grand prize.
Mm-hmm. The Untitled.
Yeah, I mean, well, back to Steppenwolf. I mean, it really feels that he just wanted to do his job, and I don't really want to get, is that I'm just here for this. Goodbye, you humans or whatever you are. Go to go to go to the other planet. I mean, just to
Be with his
to
kind.
have this
But like, he doesn't seem as
this
devoted Like he doesn't seem as as devoted as everyone else is. I mean, we all saw the old days of trying to take over the world in the
Yeah,
flashback
I
that Wonder
mean,
Woman mentioned after she found out that Darkseid's coming. She mentioned
oh
how
yeah,
like
great.
humanity, like mankind, as well as Zeus and his son, the Amazonians, the Atlanteans, and every other warrior on Earth took on the new gods. It's
Yeah,
like, of course, it mentions the fact that they were once aligned together as a team, even if they were from separate
Mhm.
like worlds of in a way, which kind of parallels Justice League. But it also kind of shows how
yeah,
the business works back then for the new gods compared to now, where like they seem more prepared to go up against Earth after learning of their prior mistakes. And we even get to see that in a way with Darkseid going from almost being like a Hulk-like monster to being much more intelligent in terms of how he talks.
Yeah, precisely. You can tell those evolutions just with the boys. Jesus, Ray Porter.
yeah.
Yeah,
What a perfect choice.
Ray Porter. I'm going to pronounce the other guy's name wrong. Ciaran
Yeah,
Hinds.
around. Yeah.
Like
Heinz hints. I don't
like
know.
the voice of Desaad, he's good too.
Oh
Also,
man,
Oh yeah.
first time I heard the Sat's voice, it's like it's slightly cracking, or and also super sharp, and it's so weird. I was
Yeah,
so impressed. I don't know who the
yeah,
actor is, but it's the one that impressed me the most in the first impression.
also have to say, seeing Darkseid in the metal form from the projector
Oh
that's
yeah,
at
the
the
yeah,
mother
black
boxes, like
texture.
I really like
Yeah.
him the most in that form. Like he just like shape wise, he looks like Darkseid. Coloring wise, he doesn't, but I really like him the most. Makes him look almost techno-organic, like almost like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
species is both uh, flesh and metal at the same time.
yeah. I agree. I think that was the most scary look out of all.
Yeah, I almost want to see Darkseid like that in the entire movie because he just looks so awesome. Like, sure, seeing him as a
Uh,
rocky, like a rock type of alien that's so fleshly, like, is more believable. But seeing him as a techno-organic is like even cooler.
it's badass, but
yeah.
I don't think it would make sense now that we have seen how the apocalypse, science, and organisms work. But
Yeah,
it's still super
Mhm.
cool, and maybe we can get more scenes of that if we get a sequel.
yeah. And moving forward, we get to see the League going through the harbor, the tunnel, and it feels more refined this time. The music is good, the action is great, the dialogue isn't
Yeah.
bad, and best of all, like the League doesn't feel like they're bumbling fools. They feel like they're struggling, not because they're bumbling fools as Joss did, but because they're not used to taking on someone like Steppenwolf and the Parademons.
hmm Felt kind of
Yeah.
bad for Batman. He felt super useless up until the last fight, but in that harbor fight, he felt so stupid.
Yeah, we'll see. Like the Nightcrawler is kind of like a weird vehicle. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm more used to like the car, the boats, the jets, but like I'll accept it. Maybe it just needs a little more uh, versatility and stuff like this because it ain't ready for aliens.
No,
Yeah.
it
No.
lacked puss, but it was still great. And I wanted to see more of the tank, but we all know that it was just a glimpse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it felt even great to see like the Star Labs guys feel more important. I mean, we already mentioned like Cyborg's father in some capacity, Silas Stones, but Ryan Choi is a surprisingly great addition.
Yeah, the future
Yeah, he's
Adam.
great.
Oh man, I never said this like publicly to my knowledge, but I remember back then when I heard about it, I thought like, would people like I didn't understand why people would be that upset, but nowadays I can see why people were upset because, like, we already mentioned how Warner Brothers is hypocritical with how they want to try and go for diversity, but they cut characters out from a film that was already diverse without it being gimmicky. But Ryan Choi is very smart. Like, he's with an equally smart man, and
Yeah.
like it's all show and not just telling about it. That makes me want to see more of him in future JL movies.
Warner Bros. Is the typical studio that says "Stop Asian hate" and then drafts a movie about Adam.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Stop Asian hate, and suddenly they just don't give a fuck about a movie where all the crew is Chinese, which was
Yep.
gonna be great. But
And of course, we
Well-
can't forget about BLM, yet they refuse to help Ray Fisher.
oh yeah, it's the same month that all the Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter was going on. They
Yeah.
were also at a legal war with Ray Fisher. They just look like clowns at this point.
Oh,
They are
definitely.
so pathetic.
Like,
Yeah.
going onwards from that, like, I should have mentioned this earlier, but like seeing Cyborg try and hide the mother box from the parademons was something that made sense because when he was at the grave, when he was at the gravestone, I thought like he was trying to like if it was like slamming the floor or the ground because he's upset that he couldn't save the loved ones. But now it makes sense. Like he's bearing the mother box, and now he has to obtain it when he initially left the league a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I what I got from that is that the parademon was getting too close to discovering that mother box, so he just paid a visit to his mom, and in his own grave, he just
Yeah.
hid the mother box there.
Yeah, but that was like before he went out to look for Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he just digs it out, and they start planning
About what
on
to do with it.
Yeah.
And seeing like Cyborg talk about his past as well as the third mother box was great, mentioning how it was founded by the Nazis during the Holocaust, to then it being
Mhm.
discovered by American, I think it was like soldiers when they obtained their stuff, they brought it over, and now its
Yeah,
current
and
possessor, Silas Stones, used it to revive
Yeah,
Victor.
the historical context.
Yeah, well, I just wanna say something really, small. That scene with that storyline with the mother box. I mean, connect with that deleted scene from Wonder Woman when there are those drafts of the mother box that I don't remember the name of the character that was in Wonder Woman. She was that friend of Steve Trevor. To find that draws of the mother box. I mean,
Oh yeah, that was like probably before they
A bit
started to
lost.
reduce the importance of Snyder stuff, just so that they can try and appeal towards the normies. That was pathetic. But yeah, moving forward, like seeing Victor get revived was great. Like seeing more of what we saw from BVS during the Metahuman archive footage that Lex had, and then mentioning about particles as well as how Ray's revival can connect to Superman's revival, and seamlessly connecting the plan to revive Superman here makes even more sense than in Justice. Like it just felt like, oh yeah, we forgot we have to revive him. Whereas now it says, wait, we can use this to bring him back, because they already want to try and find a way to get the League ready, but now they realize that with this power they can get Superman back, but they have to be aware of what's going to happen. It's sort of like some of them are not sure of it. Batman is. He knows that he wants to get it ready.
yeah, and also you can it's like in that scene exactly. There is a part that I completely forgot about what I'm going to say. That is in. Wow, what was it? What was it? I can't remember. I mean, oh, I mean, no, not that. I'm sorry, I already forgot what I got to say. What,
Damn it!
but it was about that scene. I mean, when it's about Superman, I guess I don't remember.
Lois trying to look for, like, walk into Superman's, like, the monument that says if you see his name, look around you, or if you see his monument, look around you.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
Oh,
that
wow.
the scene you're talking about?
No. I mean, when they are discussing about, the tier mother box, and when they want to, revive Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
that is him exactly. I don't
You see
remember
the
what.
hologram. You see the
yeah, the
hologram of
hologram.
Superman. They're all
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
the same.
yeah. But I was going to say something that it was about the conversation. I can't remember. Uh,
Like
Maybe when I.
how the
But,
mother
oh yeah,
boxes
how they revived?
reinstate.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't reawaken until he died.
Oh yeah. I really remember. It's like, no,
Yeah, like they were
no.
afraid. They were afraid of Superman. The new gods were afraid of someone like him because he's way past the
Yeah. I mean,
Amazonians. He's way past the Atlanteans, far
oh,
beyond
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
the human
Yeah.
race. When the
Yeah.
moment he
I
died
mean,
is the moment like they were ready to take over the world.
Hmm.
risk. Yeah. The K word was risk. They know they need Superman, but there's a risk that
Yeah.
Steppenwolf will come there because the mother boxes call him come. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this or no. It's like, but we
And,
really need him.
and of course,
That part really, I really love it.
it's tension right
Yeah.
there. There's even more tension when they try to like warn everyone, like they indirectly, like when Cyborg makes like a hack that tells people to evacuate from the biohazard, which is a false alarm at first, according to Silas. But when he sees the League with Superman's grave, as well as
Yeah,
the League walking towards the Kryptonian ship, like it just
Yeah.
feels more
yeah,
important. Like in seeing stuff
It
like
does.
the connections towards Man of Steel with the suits emerging from the chambers to then preparing themselves to revive the mother box, although they weren't quite sure if it would work because like the technology of the Kryptonian ship has been affected thanks to Lex Luthor.
holy shit. So, guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but in front of my house, I already listened the Superman scream. They are watching
Really?
fucking
Someone is
Snyder.
watching it?
Yeah, right now.
That's
In
freaking
front of
sweet,
my
man.
house.
Yo, that's
Dude.
Yeah,
cool.
Oh my
bro,
god.
it was something unbelievable. It was like, bro, what the from where?
You know, it makes me
Bro, I
wonder.
mean,
You know, it makes me wonder. What if? How would other universes react towards Superman's death?
I think plenty of
bro,
stars died with that yell. And it also sounded like a Formula One when
Yeah,
it
it
just.
does. Like it's kind of weird.
yeah. No,
Like,
Yeah.
like
but
now we're
see,
losing track. Oh
yeah,
my god. But
that
yeah,
is in Batman v Superman. In a very slow, well, a slow speed. I don't know how to say that. In a
Yeah.
slow way.
Slow
yeah,
mo.
Yeah,
slow mo,
you, yeah, you can
slow
see
mo.
that expansion. You know, yeah, it's like if you put in that slow, sorry, slow
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 motion.
motion.
mo.
Like
Yeah,
Just
well,
it's a normal pace
slow mo.
yeah,
for BVS.
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Like back to the current part of the movie. Like originally, they made it seem like okay, let's do it. Like the only concern would be like what if he doesn't see eye to eye with us? But now there's an even bigger concern because like the ship is warning Victor that anything he does with the mother box reviving Superman will be a huge consequence. And he sees it too when he sees the future. Like this is his warning. If anything goes wrong, it's on them from seeing stuff like, the mother boxes merging into one, Lois's death, the death of Arthur, Superman killing
Yeah.
Batman. Like that's a warning to them. That's something that they cut out, but in this case, it's brought
Yeah.
back in, and it feels like it's an even bigger risk beyond just what will happen to Superman.
Mhm. There's something really interesting that I think the mothership from the Kryptonians say once Superman is resurrected. Like it says, the future has spread their seeds on the present, something like that.
The
It's
future's
like
been written.
even yeah, something like that. Like even that technology knows that real shit is coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like saying you're on your own from this point on, and
Yeah.
it shows. Like, sure, they revived Superman, and seeing Lois see Superman in the sky again was just very touching.
Mm-hmm.
And of
Yeah.
course, we get to see the League run up and try to see if Superman's doing well. We get like the fight's mostly the same as with Justice, but it works
Yeah.
even better here because like they show off a more convincing fight. It doesn't just end at Flash failing to stop Superman. They attempt to try and stop him themselves,
Yeah,
and
they do.
the
They
music just
never
felt more
stop trying.
impactful.
In Justice League, they suddenly just stopped doing anything. And here you see that they are always consistently trying to do something, either work as a team or attack individually, but they do something, you know,
Of course, we get
and
to
they
see
lost.
like the military try to stop him before they get taken down. We get to
Yeah.
see, like first Cyborg tries to stop Superman using his extra arms to punch Superman in the face, but to no effect. Then Flash and Aquaman try to do like a surprise attack, but they fail. And then we get to see Wonder Woman, the only one we got to see that tried to stop him. And
Yeah.
like before all this, like Batman was like Clark saw Batman and was ready to go up against him. But
Mm-hmm.
previously it was just like Batman running randomly saying Clark randomly. And now we get to see not just the League try and stop him, but we also get to see like a much more convincing way of Clark to attack Batman. He's not bitch slapping him, nor is he trying to choke him and say some random lines that try to make fun of BVS. Like he uses heat vision, and Batman knows that like even if he can protect himself with his gauntlets, as we saw with him protecting himself from the parademon blasts, like that's not enough to keep him alive. And it took Lois, no big guns, but Lois, the real Lois, to stop Clark
Yeah.
from killing Batman in a way similar to how Lois saved Superman from being killed by Batman in BVS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It resembles it completely. Lois Lane is the key for both.
Yeah, it's definitely. And thankfully, there's no big guns discussion. By the way, when I first saw Justice, my original thought was that Batman was going to use massive weapons to
Oh
stop
yeah,
Superman.
me too.
And maybe
But
that's what the bad
it
thing
wouldn't have
was.
made sense. It wouldn't have made sense because he had faith on Superman this time. So just bringing warfare wouldn't be all right.
But of course, as we found out, the big guns comment was just a reference to Lois just because of her breasts. Like, God fucking damn it.
Jesus Christ.
And of course, we get
So
to see
fucking stupid.
we get to see the League like react to Superman taking Lois away as the two, like as he starts to get to his senses back, the two fly away. Or rather, Superman flies away with Lois in his arms, and the League just doesn't stand there like fools. Nor does Batman say, "Oh, something's definitely bleeding." Like when the mother box is taken
No,
away, it wasn't taken away by
not that
Steppenwolf.
crap.
it was taken away by Silas, who was ready to sacrifice himself, making sure that
Yeah.
the bad guys don't get it. And that just made me wonder, like, they just fucking took out the scene of Silas risking his own life to keep the mother box away from Steppenwolf. But the scene
Yeah.
itself is just so sad because, like, Victor never got to say goodbye to Silas. And, like, he was, like, saying, like, no,
No.
Dad, no, no. Seeing him
Yeah,
fail to save him,
that,
reaching his arm out, like, sure, like, it's a parallel to Watchmen in terms of how the scene looked, where, Dr. Manhattan killed one of the characters. But in this case, it just seems
Mhm.
more emotional because this is someone that lost the last of his own family.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can feel that. You know, uh, you know, you can feel that is him because he's just trying to, not to. I don't know. It feels so sad for him, for Cyber lost his father in front of him. It's like, no, bro, why? Man, it was hard to see. Well, it's not something very explicit, but it's hard to see what it because what it means to him. It's like
Yeah,
as as, as you said, he never say him goodbye. It's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, like they had beef with each
you
other for a
know,
bit at one point.
yeah,
Yeah. Personally, I wanted to see more of that beef.
And maybe see, Silas tell his son like it's not the right time for him to be a hero, but like Cyborg says, this is my chance. It's time for me to use my
Yeah.
gifts. If I want to be a monster, so be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
but in a good way,
it
in a
was
good use.
also kind of implicit, but in the first scene, Cyborg never looks at his father with the eyes, and
yeah. I
when
mean,
he
Yeah,
starts connecting with other human beings, part of
yeah.
the league,
He went from
then
saying
there he starts to
yeah,
recognize
he
his own
went from
father.
saying fuck the world to now willing to help others out.
Yeah.
And he's more open about who he is, and that's real character development,
Hmm.
especially when he connects with everybody else. And even if all hope
yeah.
seemed lost, not only is Superman starting to be back to his own self thanks to Lois Lane helping him recognize who he is, but they also have the symbols that can allow them to get access and find a way to know where Steppenwolf is, as well as find a way to prevent the mother boxes from merging into one.
Yeah. Yeah. That sixth act may be one of the best things ever created in the comic book genre. Absolutely.
Of course, the League gets ready to take on that son of a bitch. They prepare themselves
Mhm.
by getting the ship ready, although before then we have, Bruce talking about how he had a nightmare, and had a dream that it was the end of the
Yeah.
world, and he confirms that Lois is indeed the key.
Hmm.
And in the meantime,
She is.
we get to see that she is indeed the key because her interacting with Clark was just proof that like she is one of the few things that matters to Clark. She is one of
She
the few
connects
pieces of humanity that he has left.
exactly. Yeah, she connects him to what it means to be human and to love that planet.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, he already said it. You are my world. This is my world. It's proof once again that is true.
And to see Martha Kent drive home and witness the return of her son is just like I almost wanted to cry at that scene. I mean, it's not just
Dude,
the woman of
I
his
have to.
dreams, but it's
Yeah.
also his own mother that came over to see the two of them together. And most fictional
The mama
characters
scene.
probably just won't have the same sort of attachment to their loved ones as much as Clark does. Like the closest to
Mhm.
me would be like Peter Parker and his own Aunt May, because like she
Yeah,
is like one of the two pieces of inspiration for him.
exactly.
Yeah, that's why I like
Yeah,
Clark Kent, and that's why I also like Peter Parker too.
yeah. They are both similar characters.
Yeah, they share many things.
Yeah, in the way they are developed, I think both Sam Raimi and Zack Snyder they love that protagonist a lot.
Yeah, major props to them for making them some of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
And one from my childhood that I still love to this day, and one in my current time period that I am growing to love even more.
Mhm.
And now it's time for him to find his purpose once again. So while the League prepares to
Purpose.
take on Steppenwolf, to the typical fashion of them preparing to do what it takes and getting ready to fight with the music that plays in the background. I love that rock tune, by the way.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. But seeing Clark walk into the ship and hearing both Jor-El and Jonathan Kent is just like
Oh
the
yeah.
perfect way to make up for his inability to be with his father, both fathers, at this current age.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to say that you finally see all those words reflected into the present of Clark. That's him. He learned all those lessons, and he's about to give himself that chance of saving the world. Just beautiful.
And seeing the ship open its doors while he wears his suit, almost with him looking like he has his arms spread before he prepares to do his own flight. And while Flight 2.0 may be shorter than the regular flight for Man of Steel, it's proof that he's like beyond his initial reaction towards flying. In the Man of Steel, he just felt super impressed with flying. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, he feels happy to be back. And seeing him with his arms spread towards the earth is more than just him being a Jesus figure. He's welcoming the world back in his arms.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
hugging the world.
Yep.
Yeah. Man.
To him, the world is like his baby, and he must protect it at all costs.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
symbolism that Zack Snyder manages, it's I just want that in every single movie. Why is it so hard to ask for that? I wanted in all of them.
Maybe you just have to like crack the code, and in this case, Zack did.
Yeah.
But now
He's
we
a
go into the
genius.
final battle, and the final battle is more or less the same as with Justice, but feels much more refined. Less, we get to see more of an attempt for Batman to break through the barrier. We get to see the League do more with taking on the Parademons. There's no Danny Elfman remix music.
Danny Elfman.
Why, Danny? Why must you go from doing something masterful like Spider-Man to then doing garbage like this?
There's only one.
Oh, I hate that. No. I really hate when he said that. It's like,
What are you talking about? There's only
oh man.
Hans
That-
Zimmer's be like,
that's
"Am I a
not-
joke to you?"
I really hate when
but, like,
he said that. I mean,
seeing the League taking on the Parademons, seeing them stand together, even if it's in different fashions, like the one scene of the League charging towards the building was like masterful. Batman in his car, Aquaman with his quinlet, Wonder Woman with her sword and shield, Cyborg flying with his weapons, the Flash zooming through, like that's the team right there.
It's fucking teamwork. I swear. That final act is all teamwork. It's perfect. I think I've never seen that in any superhero movie because in Avengers, it just you see them fighting, but you never feel they are an actual team who between each other they make themselves more powerful. It just feels they are mindlessly attacking.
Yeah,
And
it's like an
here you just
antivirus in
feel
a
it.
way, where yeah, it does a job,
Why?
but doesn't feel as like as harmful.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And of
Yeah.
exactly.
course, seeing the League fight against Steppenwolf and his own parademons up in a tower is also great. Like whether it's Batman taking out the parademons and making sure that they don't shoot the Flash, seeing the seeing like Cyborg, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman take on Steppenwolf was great with their own methods. Especially Wonder Woman, like she's more than just there just to appeal to the people that liked her solo movie. Like she is avenging her sisters.
Yes, damn. Just Wonder Woman finally feels like Wonder Woman again because Wonder Woman 84 was absolute shit. Sorry.
And that's why it's not on my
No,
review.
I don't really want to talk about that movie. No,
Let's talk
okay.
about this one instead. Like,
Infuriating.
even if the Flash doesn't do as much, like his method of trying to prevent the mother boxes from fully merging was great. Like he's running around, getting as much energy as he can, making sure that Cyborg like attempts to fuse, like separate them. Like that was tenseful, and when all hope seemed lost from like Cyborg being unable to save the world, Superman shows up and like he doesn't say anything stupid. He just says, "I'm unimpressed" when he fails to get killed by Steppenwolf's axe. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ice breath is kept in, but it doesn't feel as stupid. Nor are there any CGI hands to go with the CGI face.
Yeah.
The ice breath feels realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, okay, no. Yeah,
Go
continue,
on.
please.
go on.
Well, I just want to say that, well, two things to say. First, um, well, I don't know if it's, well, it's a new track for Superman because it's not the same from what Hans Zimmer did for him. But that new one, I mean, I really like it, and it feels, well, for me, it feels a little bit better. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it feels more. I don't know how to say this.
It may be the context of the scene, but it feels
Yeah, I
much
mean,
more rewarding.
Like it's so
yeah, that's
satisfying.
true.
Like it's not
Yeah,
cheesy or
because
anything. It just feels more, organic. Seeing Superman
yeah,
unleash his rage on a fucking monster before the League prepares to lend a hand.
yeah. I mean, Hans Zimmer, of course, he did an incredible work, magnificent. But the Clark Kent, oh the Clark Kent Ost.
Mhm.
It was more about how do you say that? It's more about what it means for his people. I mean, that hope that represent the house of El. That you said that feeling of something
Like it's
with,
awe-inspiring.
yeah, inspiring but nostalgic. It's more nostalgic because uh,
I
it
think it's because
belongs to all this.
I think it's
It
because like we've
belongs
heard
to
it
all
for
this
so long.
journey from. Yeah, well, I mean, it belongs to this journey of Jor-El trying to save, the future, and the future is his son. I mean, and the music is so good, with this version of Krypton that I really love. But this new version is like something, as well. I mean, it's new. It's something new, and it's something that it says, "Hey, this is a new Superman. This is a new way to see him." I mean, I really love, this new song for him. And the other thing that I want to say, second, is okay. I really like, Superman fighting Steppenwolf, but is it me? Is it me or anyone else thought that in any moment he will get mad and kill everyone? It's like, bro, okay. I mean, you're punching Steppenwolf, but I think it's too much. I mean, okay, get
Yeah,
get chill for
like
a moment. Please.
I just turned out
Like,
like upset. Like even the league knew about this too.
yeah.
Like they're like, oh shit, oh we like they're like they already saw what it was like to see Superman like whoop their asses, and now they're seeing it again. This time with the suit and with his powers unleashed.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's like, okay, he got one of his horns. Okay, that's good. And then one punch, other punch, and then you see that scene of the trailer when he, the laser of his eyes, and then another punch, and then another punch, and then he getting conscious. I mean, he got to sleep. But at that
Yeah,
moment, well, for me, it was, whoa. Uh, are they going to, try Superman get able now? It's like,
like we haven't
it
seen
was just a
Superman like
feeling. I
this
mean,
since
I
when he
didn't
was
think that at
punching
all.
Zod in Man of Steel.
no, no.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, it's something personal. I mean, wow.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, like
It
chill,
was
chill,
just
chill,
from.
chill a little bit, please. It's like too
Oh,
much.
on the contrary, I wanted Superman to fucking disintegrate Steppenwolf. Come on, he had the
yeah,
power
No,
to do it.
please, no,
but
no
like
more Steppenwolf, please.
like
Don't
instead
talk to that man.
until that point, before that, Darkseid and his new God crew show up from the portal.
Oh,
The League is
Oh,
there.
dude,
However,
just
like
with every fucking with every fucking punch, I was like, he's going to call Darkseid, stop. He's going to
Yeah.
attract Darkseid's attention, just stop. And the unity is about to happen. And then
Yeah,
the boom
yeah,
tube
yeah,
happens, and you see Darkseid, and it's
yeah. It's like
no
crazy.
way.
It's like fucking crazy. And then in the
yeah.
meantime, like Flash gets shot at one point by one of the parademons, which messes
Dude,
everything up.
God,
And
so stressing.
now,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
the unity is complete. Life is wiped out, but the Flash can save everything. Like he knows how to tap into his power to undo all this,
Yeah.
like,
And
and
then
he
we have
did.
that moment where everything just, well, the unity just happens, and the
Mhm,
whole world is about to terraform, let's say,
mhm.
and we get that tiny instant with Barry Allen just focusing, remembering everything about his father, about his past, about the future, and he makes his own present. And I think
Yeah,
that scene may be the best comic book scene ever. Just fucking
Bar
ever.
none. Like that's pure heart right there.
It's
He's devoted
art.
to
It's absolute
changing his future.
art. It's cinema. It's what it's supposed to be. Fucking
He
cinema.
he's been able to save the League from the disintegration of the Unity or formatting the Earth. He's undid all that, and thankfully, like with all this stuff that he's done, now Cyborg can get closer and closer to separating the mother boxes, and with the help of Superman, they're able to do so. And it's
Oh
much
yeah.
more like it definitely makes them feel less like they are weak upon succeeding. There's no comments on toes. There's no comments on weird stuff. It's just them being able to see what's next. Now we,
Yeah. It's just so beautiful. The way Flash just overcomes that scar of his, and like that uh
yeah, like his scar, like
the
him healing himself, a la
yeah.
Wolverine.
And then the scene that follows that is also Victor just overcoming his condition and just saying, I'm not broken and I'm not alone.
Oh yeah,
And he just
like he was
makes
able
it.
to like separate what's holding him back, that being his old
Yeah.
life and accepting who he is now. And like it's just so well made. Sure, like
Just
at one point,
perfect.
Cyborg looks like he's looking at the fish tanks at Walmart at night,
oh
but
yeah,
at least it's just well made. It just feels more natural. It feels heartful. Doesn't feel cliche.
Oh yeah.
And as mentioned, Superman helping Cyborg separate the boxes doesn't get ruined by terrible like jokes. And then
No, it doesn't.
like Steppenwolf
definitely.
knows that he's fucked. some of the members of the League take him down, and Wonder Woman does the finishing touch by beheading Steppenwolf. And with Steppenwolf's cut head now in the current world that Darkseid and his crew is in, seeing it get stepped on by Darkseid is just so satisfying.
He crashes the head, and like and you see also the horn, like just getting attached from the body, and you see the blood spattering, and it's just
Yeah,
you
that's
just
sweet
feel
revenge.
it, and then it goes up to Darkseid, and both Superman and Darkseid looking at each other and just
Yeah, they know what's coming. And even
They
if
all
he
know
can't
what's
do it with
coming.
immunity, there's one way for Darkseid to get his prize. The old-fashioned way. And now they're going to prepare the Armada.
Oh man,
For now, the threat is over.
Desad. Oh, I also despise Desad at that scene. I wanted to punch his ugly ass face. Oh,
Oh man,
But-
if I ever find the sad, I will get a big punch upon his
yeah.
head.
Who is the Desad of our server? Do we have a
I don't
Desad?
know. But like the main thing is that like the League comes back, they like seeing Clark lift Batman up from the pit was poetic. From Bruce lifting up Superman in BVS after like preventing himself from killing him.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
they're all standing together. It feels much more emotional, feels much more satisfying, feels much more complete. Then we go to the epilogue of the League enjoying their own lives now. Like the threat's
Yeah.
done for, but they're still ready to take on challenges in a new way. I mean, we have like Clark Kent reuniting with his loved ones once more. Bruce bought the whole
Mhm.
bank. Batman's ready to take on bad guys in a new way with his tank. Wonder Woman's ready to see more of like her Amazonian self when she returns to where the arrow was shot.
Yeah, I think she just spotted the direction that the arrow came from, and she says, "I'm going back to my home, and I want to see that."
Yeah, Cyborg being more acceptable of who he is, and even hearing his father's speech at the end was just more like Lois's wasn't bad, but it just seems kind of generic. It doesn't feel like Lois Lane
Oh, really?
in
Wait,
Justice. So
oh
I
yeah,
much
it
preferred
does
like
look like-
hearing Silas Stone talk about it instead.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Flash is
yeah,
running.
that final monologue. Yeah,
Flash's
totally.
running felt like much more cohesive, and even
Yeah,
though we didn't
it
get to see
felt
Superman fly
even
away at
free.
the end, seeing the shirt
Mhm.
pull was
Better.
just as good, and surprising with the
Yeah.
black suit too.
Oh yeah, that surprised me. Maybe he's just still finding his way to the red and blue suit yet. He's
Yeah, I saw in a spot, a day before, and I said, "Oh, really?" It was like, okay.
Oh, and of course,
But
Aquaman going back with
yeah,
his dad.
oh yeah, the Aquaman getting into that truck, ready to go visit his dad.
oh
Just
yeah,
kind of connecting with Aquaman. Although before that, in Aquaman, he
Yeah,
stops those terrorists from getting into the submarine, including Black Manta stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
and of course, we get to see Ryan be succeed the role that Silas had at Star Labs.
oh yeah, yeah.
So that would have been a great way to end it off. However, we get ourselves an even bigger surprise that further encourages us to tell these guys to restore the Snyderverse.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants
Some
to start
people call
talking
it-
about it?
Yeah, so some people call it overdoing, but they need to understand that it is necessary because this is all connected from the start. And if you pay more attention than you usually do, you will see that there are plenty of hints that are coming together slowly in all that sequence, the apocalypse, apocalyptical world, or whatever you want to call it.
And
But
we
just
have Batman, Flash, Cyborg,
yeah,
Deathstroke, surprisingly. Oh my god, we gotta go back a bit. Quick. Talk about the other scene. Lex Luthor breaking out of jail with the cops not
oh,
knowing at Gotham City, like Arkham Asylum.
oh,
That was great.
that change,
Like, I
and we
love
get a
hearing,
glimpse of Arkham Asylum. Yeah,
yeah, and I love hearing Lex Luthor's theme again. It just something about it just makes it seem more sinister than
yeah.
other villain themes. Like it sounds like I know they say it's like a reverse of the Man of Steel theme, but in a way it kind of makes sense if that's the case because like Lex Luthor is the opposite of Superman,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
and seeing the connection with you know Deathstroke, like them making a deal on teaming up, like it's more than just making a league of their own. It's all about like them wanting to go up against Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we the three of us know the original plans, and I think here Zack changed it in order to make that movie or miniseries for Ben. You know, the Batman versus Deathstroke
Yeah.
story that was going to follow it.
Fingers crossed we get it.
Please, come on. It's everything there. It's so easy to just grab those concepts and do the story.
Yeah.
Ben already has it. Joe wants to be in it. Come on, just
And now we go back
get
forward.
yourself together.
Yeah, we now we go back forward to the apocalyptic area, and we already
Yeah.
mentioned that in Four Guys, and there's also Mara, who Amber Heard, blah blah blah. The actress isn't good, but we're doing this for Zack, not for Mara nor Amber Heard.
I did like Amber Heard as Mara, though.
Yeah,
I
the character's
just
fine.
think
I just don't like the
she's
actress.
okay.
Like her wanting to go up against Joker because he's been involved with messing up the future. Like now that I want to see that in Justice League 2, and seeing Joker, like I'm so used to seeing him in Suicide Squad, especially what we got from studio interference, like the tattoos. Like I know the tattoos are
Dude.
from David Ayer, by the way, released the Ayer cut, Warner Brothers, HBO Max, Warner Media, AT&T. Like
Mhm.
that Joker just feels like a huge contrast from how he was in Suicide Squad. Let me tell you.
Dude, he looks like straight out of a movie. Laughs. It's horrifying. It's like you can tell he is psychotic. He's crazy. He's more than over the edge already. I don't know where the fuck is the Joker at this point. Crazy.
Be careful. Be
Yeah.
careful. What are you going to say?
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That line,
He gives
Like-
zero
that
fucks,
fuck-
man.
yeah.
line was everything. You know, you don't go. What was it? It's like you didn't send a kid to do the man's work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man,
Why would you send the boys wonder to do a man's job?
and of course, like
Motherfucker!
that got you Batman right there. Like, he's ready to murder him,
Yeah.
but of course, because they have no other choice, they have to take the Joker with them to find a way to undo all this. And at that moment, Superman shows up with his red and blue suit, ready to lay waste on them.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, it cuts off from there, and we get to see Bruce reawaken. And interestingly, Bruce feels a lot healthier than prior in the
Yeah.
film.
Mm-hmm, yeah. He looks slightly retired, let's say. But if you are well, if you're curious enough and you paid attention, you can see that once it all you see Martian Manhunter leaving the scene in the back, the Justice
The
League.
city?
No, the Justice League establishment is being built. Like you almost see it complete.
Yeah. But more importantly, like
Oh
So
yeah.
he's done.
Martian Manhunter admits it's time for him to be a part of the league too. Bruce is ready to let him in, and like it just gives you more hope. Like it makes you want to see more of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the movie ends off with the Justice League theme playing, and I think it's like the crew at War Power. There's a song's name.
Yeah.
I may have gotten
Yeah,
the name
it's
wrong, but like that is a great theme for the Justice League. I'm happy that they didn't
yeah.
use any reference towards the animated series one because like we already know that DC animated universe fans are unappreciative of anything else that isn't their precious cartoon series,
Mhm.
but this new theme just seems like strong. The emotion is there. It's heartful, it's inspiring, and I love the instrumentals that are used from the trumpets to the drums.
Yeah, it didn't convince me at first, but once you watch the
Yeah.
movie,
Same.
it totally feels like the Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my case was not in the movie, but it was when it get released. It's like, okay, you're gonna listen this. But you know, for me, it feels that it was lack of something iconic. Well, that was my first thought. But then when I listen and listen again, it's like wow. It's like
Yeah.
and of course,
like
like played out they played like some of the tunes in some parts of it, but it was like slower than the actual theme is,
yeah, totally.
which alludes to the fact that they're like forming the team, and now that they formed a team, the song is there. It feels complete, and
Hmm.
before the credits play, we get to see a tribute towards the daughter of Zack Snyder for Autumn.
For
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that song is already playing on the movie right
Wow.
now.
But like,
what?
let's think about it real quick. For Autumn, rarely has there been a
Yeah,
tribute towards a loved one on that sort of level. Usually, it's basically like someone saying it's in honor of so and so that was involved in the film. But like this and the tribute towards Heath Ledger and the tribute towards Stan Lee, like those three like tributes towards a loved one is just like the best. It makes you like it hits you in your heart right there. Like for Stan Lee because
yeah,
he's a man of a legacy. For Heath Ledger because like he died too young, and the same goes for Autumn Snyder. And it even hurts even more because like Warner Brothers used the death of Autumn as a way to hide the fact that they fired Snyder during production of Justice League before they brought in the fat fuck Joss Whedon.
Hmm.
But we ultimately won because us and a lot of people paid for donations for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and made sure no one else would go through the same fate that Autumn went through because, like, suicide can happen to anybody. Like, anyone can blow their brains out or kill themselves. And like, it's not exclusive to any race or any gender. Anyone can kill themselves, and no one wants that to happen, especially to those that have a huge future ahead of themselves. So,
Yeah.
like,
You
yeah. I
can you
mean,
can you can tell that Autumn was in the position of a lot of these characters. She was doubting her self worth. She was insecure. She was lost, and the worst outcome played out. And I think a lot of people in the movement may have felt that way. So that's why it resonates so much
yeah,
with all of us. It condenses a lot of pain, but at the
believe me,
same
it does.
time, we got our reward. We got our
Yeah,
battles, and we finally won, and we saw this masterpiece. And
and
I
you know,
think that hallelujah at the end, it's
oh
all
yeah,
it's just simply like I started off this. It's just so lyrical, so poetic.
yeah,
It's that way with Zack.
and
It's always that way.
you know, like
yeah,
I mentioned this like in my spoiler-free video a while back, but like the fact that we were a day like very close to the Snyder Cut's release before one of our co-hosts a step
Yeah.
down for their own like personal issues that they had to take care of, both physical and mental ones. Like that sort of reminds me of what we mentioned with like someone like Autumn, like outing herself from everyone else, and like Eternal is someone that, as I mentioned, has a bright future ahead of themselves, and all they can hope for is that he can make it through with what he's going through.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, Eternal is a case where you see he's really passionate and has a lot of capacities. Just by his voice, you can tell.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm super confident that he will make it through. Like I'm really confident.
whether or
And
not he'll like make it is one thing. Like whether or not he'll come back on social media is another thing. But I agree. Let's just
Yeah,
hope
it's
that he
been
comes back.
I don't think that matters at the end. Either he comes back at social media, maybe he finds a better way to
Yeah,
live his life. Maybe not. Who
yeah.
knows?
all that
But I
matters is
just want
that
him to be happy. He
yeah,
deserves to be happy,
all that
and
matters
I
is that
think
he
he
makes
will.
it and he has a bright future ahead of himself. Like that's all that matters right now, as you mentioned.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
So
But
the other,
that's it. I mean, everybody of us know what this movie means. For Zack Snyder and for us. This little movement, and for us, in the server. Uh, you know,
and
um,
everywhere else in the world too.
yeah. But I want to say that for us, more closer is like we've been here since last year, and all this movement. Uh, it feels like something incredible. How people
Yeah,
even
that
surreal.
never meet each other. Get together and share. Share a lot of things and happy moments, and it makes something special. In your life. It's not just another group of people that I talk weekly. I don't know. It's no, no, no. This is something. It's something special for all of us. The ones that were since the beginning of this.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean,
Like
um,
sure, there's been like some downs. There's been plenty of ups, especially in the Snyder Cut community. Like
Hmm.
yeah,
there's been arguments over
uh,
what the budget would be, like the title, but I'm just glad for those that have fought for the cut to be made. So I don't know if you guys are watching this, but to Fiona Zhang, to RT Snyder Cut, to those that have been as big as contributors like they have been, thank you. You've all
Thank
done
you.
a lot
Yeah.
of great work. We couldn't have done
Basically,
it without
everyone.
you. Everyone has
I think
contributed.
what we have all learned from this huge adventure is that we all go through our own battles, and from all those battles, we find time to do something positive. Even though we're suffering, even though we're struggling, we all put our efforts in order to make this possible. So it's the movement itself is very heroic, and it serves justice. I think it's just if you think it that way,
Yeah,
it's very fulfilling.
yeah,
Very.
oh, definitely. And like you compare that to how people fought for uh, the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. Like
Yeah, that
all they did
too.
was just demand for it, as far as I can tell. Whereas everyone that was in the Snyder Cut movement did plenty of things, from the suicide prevention donations to you know going to conventions and making it a positive thing. That's
Hmm.
proof that they've been able to go from a simple hashtag to getting awareness from the public to the release of it and seeing the film on our screens.
Yeah.
hmm
Like that's just beautiful.
yeah,
But of course,
Yeah.
it's not over yet. Like
No,
we definitely
it's
want
not
to see
over
more. Like, all we can hope for is that we can support the film continuously and show that we want to see more of these adventures because, I don't want to rain on anyone else's parade, but that slate that they put out for DC stuff just doesn't have the same sort of excitement.
No.
Like,
It feels like starting a new process, and
but lacking the same
it
sort
is
of heart.
slightly bittersweet. Obviously, more sweet than bitter, but it is, because you know deep inside that this can keep going, and we can tell better and bigger and more powerful story. It is possible, and it is inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope that we can continue fighting for stuff like Justice League 2 and 3, a Cyborg movie that involves Zack, and Batfleck v Deathstroke, as well as one last adventure with Henry Cavill's Superman. So, we went from releasing the Snyder Cut, and now we gotta go to restoring the Snyderverse. So, with all that said,
Yeah.
I want to thank you all
Restore
guys
the
for.
Snyderverse!
Yes! Please,
We need it.
please, everybody.
We will, and we have to, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us united.
And that concludes today's episode. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this discussion because we've been through a lot of stuff in the past with JustUs Podcast. But this feels like it's a great way for us to reflect on our own adventures too when it comes to talking about excitement for the Snyder Cut back in the first episode where we talked about fandom to mentions of being excited about it and then reviewing Man of Steel and BVS. And now here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
But that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching us talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Please support it legally. Don't go on any pirated sites. Please go on HBO Max. And it's just $14. Even if you want to watch the film for just throughout 1 month, $15 isn't a bad amount. Just do it like that. Just pay once. You don't have to be there for long, and hopefully we can get everyone to make it happen with restoring the Snyderverse.
Definitely. Restore the Snyderverse.
And that concludes today's episode once more. We want to see you next time. Take care, but remember, restore the Snyderverse.